guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Samantha and I make videos on minimalism, my low buy no buy lifestyle, productivity and intentional living. So today I wanted to share with you my top 10 minimalist life hacks. Now I began my minimalist journey in late 2018 when I discovered the low buy no buy community on YouTube. If you don't know what a low buy no buy is when you commit to not spending money for a period of time on anything that you consider non-essential. I've made several videos on my channel documenting my journey, and I'll link those videos in the description below and also in the cards above. So in that year and a half, I have aggressively decluttered and minimized my items, and I currently have about 450 items. My first minimalist life hack is to make sure you take pictures of receipts as soon as you've made a purchase. I'm a huge advocate for going paperless, and if you're wanting to keep hold of a receipt, say for tax purposes or because you're not sure whether you want to keep an item or not, take a picture of that receipt immediately so you have a digital copy and you avoid having a stack of receipts on your workspace. My second minimalist life hack is to buy wrinkle-free clothing. I hate ironing, and I've discovered that if I have to choose between a top and a shirt that needs ironing and something that doesn't, I will always opt for the latter option. And that's why I've made it a blanket rule for myself to never buy anything that needs ironing, because I know that I simply won't wear it and it will end up taking up space in my closet. My third minimalist life hack is to clean as you go, especially when you're cooking. Otherwise that space could end up a real disaster zone after your culinary adventures. If you leave cleaning for too long, it does stack up and become quite overwhelming. Now we're all human and it does happen from time to time, and if you're unable to clean as you go and you are faced with a pile of cleaning, say on a Sunday afternoon, what I would suggest doing is putting on a few clean with me videos on YouTube for inspiration, and I find that that normally gives me the get up and go to tackle my mess. My fourth minimalist life hack is to never buy high-heeled shoes that you can't wear. I hadn't realized how much I was kidding myself until I started decluttering and I discovered the number of high-heeled shoes I owned and the number of high-heeled shoes that I couldn't even wear. The reason for that is over time I have become more and more used to wearing flats, and also my clothing style and fashion sets have become much more simple, so high heels just didn't fit into my aesthetic, and even though the shoes were beautiful, I just really couldn't wear them. And I was living in this fantasy world where I thought, yes, one day I'll be able to wear high heels, but as time progressed I was getting less and less used to being able to wear high heels anyway, so the whole thing was a complete waste of space and money. So I ended up giving away all of my high-heeled shoes, and now I can look at high heels admiringly, I can like it on other people, but I will never purchase them for myself. My fifth minimalist life hack is to go on a no-buy for a period of time. When I started my no-buy, I had no idea how much it would change my life and my mindset. I now feel such a sense of satisfaction from the things that I own. I can truly appreciate them for what good value they are. I now ensure that I use every product within the last inch of its life, and I've also taken myself away from the comparison trap that comes with social media. Because I've committed to not buying any clothes or any shoes, I never get tempted by Instagrammers promoting different things, or by Google adverts, or because my friends have bought a new item of clothing or a bag that's really beautiful. I can admire all of those things, but I don't feel the impulse to keep up with my peers, and that is truly freeing. The next life hack is to log everything that you spend for a couple of months. I did that and I cut out all the fat from my budget. I cut down on my direct debits, I started budgeting for gifts, I really reduced down my food and entertainment costs because I hadn't realized how much I was spending on those areas, and because of that I ended up saving, alongside my husband, £40,000, which we are going to use for a house deposit. For those of you who live in America, £40,000 translates to roughly over $50,000, and we've done that in the last year and a half. My next life hack is not to procrastinate when it comes to opening mail. I used to be terrible for this, and the mail would pile up into an intimidating heap, but I definitely don't do that anymore, and part of that is because I don't want any paper around me. As soon as I come home and there's any mail for me, I'll open it up straight away, even before I've actually entered into my room. I'll just do it all in the hallway. I'll get rid of junk mail straight away. I'll look at my bank statements and inquiries and any kind of bills, and I'll put them on my workspace to make sure that I tackle them within the next day or two. And because these things don't pile up anymore, they don't feel like such a weight on my shoulders. My eighth hack is to not buy poor quality fast fashion. Clothing from places like Boohoo and Shein are often very poor quality and are trend pieces which don't serve a minimalism wardrobe well. However, I do want to say a few things when it comes to fast fashion. I've heard people describe places like Zara and River Island as fast fashion, and one man's fast fashion is another woman's slow fashion. So I've purchased garments from these places and they normally tend to last me around 7 years or so. Although some people seem to think that those items are quite throwaway, I feel that if you take care of them quite well, you can get them to last for much longer than people will lead you to believe. Also, ethical brands can be very expensive when compared to these high street brands, and it's important to remember that sustainable fashion isn't always sustainable. It's actually very unusual to not produce any waste when you're making clothes. So when fashion brands say that they're sustainable, they're probably only talking about one or two aspects of their production life cycles. Another argument against fast fashion is the poor working conditions that employees in factories face. And while I agree wholeheartedly that a lot of pressure should be put on companies to ensure that working conditions are improved, I don't think closing down these factories or boycotting fast fashion altogether is the answer. I'm British Bengali and I have visited many Bengali garments factories in the past, and I know that these garments factories are incredibly important to the economy of Bangladesh and also to the people of Bangladesh. So I think stopping fast fashion altogether would have a devastating impact on those communities. Fast fashion is a complex issue and I by no means am an expert, but I don't like the way people are so black and white about it on social media and the internet, and I do think it's important to acknowledge the complexities of the issues around fast fashion. My ninth minimalist hack is to learn how to recycle, repurpose and shop your stash. When I was on my low buy no buy, buying something was an absolute last resort. So if I really needed something, say I wanted to liven up my wardrobe or I wanted makeup, I would actually shop my stash and find things and rediscover new things. I also ended up using all of those samples of makeup that I had accumulated over years. When I ran out of things that I had in stock, I would go to my mum and my sister and ask them if there was anything that they could give to me, any spares or extras, and more often than not the answer was yes. So it was a great way to repurpose, recycle and declutter all at once. And my last tip is to think once, think twice and think 3 times before making a purchasing decision. If you feel the need for an item, make a note of it and see if you feel that need again and again, and if it's a recurring want and a need, then you probably should do with buying that item. Think about how you will store it, think about whether it will make your life easier, and also look at reviews on Amazon or any other shopping websites to make sure that the item is actually worth it. The worst feeling is buying something and it turns out to be rubbish. And that brings me to the end of my top 10 minimalist life hacks. As always guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like intentional living and minimalist content, I will link some more videos in the description below and in the cards above, which I think you'll enjoy. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next week. Bye!